Welcome to 5-Star Weekly. Heinze is out. Why? And who else should go with him? We also have all the rumors, recap, and preview coming up.
Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube.
This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern.
5-Star fam, as I'm out here in the elements with some light rain and some traffic sounds, I would love to talk to you about our Patreon. You can help support us and our work from a grassroots level. We have some amazing tiers. Go check it out on patreon.com/ATLUTD But guys, let's get into the recap. And yeah, New England Revolution, the top seeded or top team in the East rather, played against us, who are, we were 10th and we're still 10th. It was a 1-0 loss to Bruce Arena's Revolution. And yes, he's definitely revolutionized that side into kind of world beaters a little bit. But yeah, recently their form maybe not as good without some of their top performers in Tajon Buchanan and Matt Turner. Of course, Matt Turner is on international duty. And so, yeah, you have guys that still can do a job. And, yeah, LA United against New England Revolution, we looked a little bit dire in terms of the attack. Of course, Josef Martinez was kept out of the side by Gabriel Heinze. And, yeah, we'll get into all that in the news later. But in terms of this match, yeah, we looked toothless in attack again. No one who could finish. You had Kubo Torres starting up top again, inexplicably, yeah, to a lot of people's aghast. I mean, basically, a lot of people were hoping maybe Jackson Conway would get his first start, or somebody. But yeah, it looked like a 3-4-3 to start as well. Alan Franco in the center. Of course, Anton Walks has been our captain instead of Brad Guzan. But yeah, Chol and Lopez as the additional attackers, and a debut start for Amar Sejdic, who I must say looked pretty decent on the ball, and definitely had a few good tackles to start the match as well. The first 45 minutes looked pretty decent, with their goal notwithstanding, which, yeah, New England Revolution, they pretty much just tore us up. I mean, I think, tip the cap to them. I don't think the defensive players really could have done any better. They, I mean, the ball that went into the box, it's kind of a fluky, a fluky touch by the forward to be able to, trap it a little bit, and then Gustavo Bo gets a little bit of a deflected ball off of George Campbell, and yeah, I mean, our guys are pretty much, played off the park in that goal, and I think what you can do there, not very much, and so it's not really on anybody there, but I think, the attack definitely is just so lacking. The number of good chances. There was a good ball in the second half where George Campbell put Machop Chol in with a left-footed through ball, and Machop Chol dribbled into the box and fashioned himself a chance. That's kind of more of what we would like to see if we can't create a team goal, at least something from the run of play. But that's been the difficulty, is that we haven't scored from the run of play since May, and that is highly damning. And it's something that I don't think we'll harp on too much because of the big news at the top of the show, and that we'll get into later. But definitely, yeah, this match, it's kind of the same old, same old. We look just kind of a little bit restless, a little bit where we are predictable. We pretty much on any sort of counterattack go with the ball out wide, and it's a cross in that's very easy to deal with. And at the end of the day, it just can't be, the same type of chances all the time. So, getting into kind of some of these notes, congrats to George Campbell for his first MLS start. I thought he did quite well. There were a lot of Josef Martinez chants, first in the 7th minute, another one in the 17th minute, and definitely at the conclusion of the match, there was more Josef Martinez chants. And he was seen at the stadium via a Snapchat post. And, he obviously was there to support the boys. It's, just very annoying when your star player is frozen out for seemingly reasons that they were not willing to describe out in public, but it all came out later on, of course. It's another match where we had 4 homegrowns on the pitch: Wolf, Campbell, Conway, and essentially there were a lot of free Joseph signs as well in the stadium as well. But Jeff Lorenowitz, he also was seen during the Five Stripes live segment at halftime. Gave some good sound analysis, but I'm sure some people would love to see maybe him start to get maybe his coaching badges and start to be in and around the setup, because it's definitely possibly needed. But in a paid attendance of 42,517, it definitely looked a little bit less than that. It would probably, I would say, maybe 5,000 to 8,000 less than normal. I think that definitely had an impact on that front office and how they viewed this match as well. I mean, there were some hearty boos at full time. It's, I think the fans made their displeasure known, and that is very key. The pressure needs to be put onto the people in charge when things are not going right. And boy, are things not going right. Winless in 8 matches. I mean, that's just not good enough. And, whether you're, a former MLS Cup winning team or not, I mean, it clearly is just subpar. But let's pretty much wrap this matchup, and we'll get into all of the really, really juicy and big news. But yes, LA United will be playing FC Cincy on Wednesday, and we'll have that match preview later on in this episode. So let's get into the big news, and Gabriel Heinze is out. If you haven't heard, I don't know, you might have been living under a rock, but if you have been living under a rock, welcome to the big news of the week. And this past weekend, it has been a whirlwind. But Heinze out, Rob Valentino, assistant coach, in, and pretty much Darren Eales and Carlos Bocanegra in their press conference on Sunday after the 3 p.m. news drop. It is one of those, they didn't want to reveal too much, and, we'll get into a little bit of it and, get into our thoughts of it. But they said that essentially Heinze was incredibly hands-on and incredibly non-stop. The actual performance on the pitch wasn't the factor here. Eales said, "I'm optimistic with the squad that we have, that we're only a third through the season, and we've seen some positives with our homegrowns." Also, they said that when they fired Heinze, that they did it after practice, and he was professional when they did it. So, I mean, that at least is good to know. He didn't throw a tantrum. But, Carlos Bocanegra said that his relationship with Gabriel Heinze was professional, quote. Regarding his accountability, Bocanegra added that we're all accountable, me included. I mean, that's good to hear, but it is also, they are fully accountable. Not only Carlos Bocanegra, but Darren Eales. And I think at this point, Carlos Bocanegra and Darren Eales, they are both on the hot seat. And we'll get into how hot that hot seat really is further. But Eales, he made it clear that the club will move fairly quickly in their search for a new head coach, and they will try to do so this season. Now, also, he said the firing of Heinze had nothing to do with Josef Martinez, and there was that spat I covered it in some news specials this weekend, but to recap, what was happening was that Josef Martinez was frozen out of the squad. It seemed like he was the player that was big enough to actually be able to say something. The captain, Brad Guzan obviously was away. Miles Robinson, maybe another big, player, is also away on international duty. Ezequiel Barco, maybe a little bit of pull in the squad, also away on international duty. Guys that maybe could say something. Josef Martinez is the guy that maybe had to take the fall in terms of Gabriel Heinze's eyes. But, it led to pretty much Heinze making Josef Martinez train on his own, and it had apparently been that for a week. And Felipe Cardenas actually reported that Josef Martinez, it wasn't fitness related. And then Heinze came out on Thursday saying it also, yes, wasn't fitness related, and that he had his reasons why Josef Martinez was kept out, and that, he didn't want to send a message through the press. And whether it came out that none of the players actually knew much of what was going on between he and Josef either, so if there was a message, it probably didn't seem like it was very clear. But, there was a big shoe to drop, and that, of course, not only was with Gabriel Heinze, but a Fox Sports article by Doug McIntyre that said that, essentially the relationships between the players and the coach, they and the coaching staff had soured quite a good bit, but also that Heinze, he refused to let his players have water during some of the training sessions. They did 2-a-days, not only in preseason, and he forced them to be in a hotel near the training grounds, but also during the international break, and basically didn't give them many days off during the week. And with MLSPA, they also pretty much filed a grievance on the Atlanta United players' behalf because they were being overworked, and essentially that new CBA for the players pretty much said that they can't have 14 consecutive days of working. They needed to have scheduled days off, and that just wasn't happening under Heinze. And so, I mean, if the front office also knew this, and knew that these were the practices of Gabriel Heinze and weren't doing something to make him change it to protect their players and really Atlanta United's investments, because a lot of players have gone down due to injury, soft tissue injuries, ACL with Emerson Hyman during training, Franco Ibarra with a hamstring, Jurgen Damm as well, many other players, Mateus Husetu, who had just worked his way back and then never even really got much playing time, sans a few minutes, and Mo Adams, who got to play all of, I think, one match before he, pretty much had to go down as well. And so it's very brutal on, not only the players, but I think, when you set up a team, it's very difficult to have that depth. But nonetheless, this is fully on not only Gabriel Heinze, but also on Carlos Bocanegra and Darren Eales. And you have to think that Carlos Bocanegra will not have his contract renewed. It ends in March 2022. Darren Eales also has a lot to answer for. There has to be much more transparency from the front office. I mean, it seems very apparent that there's pretty much almost mass exodus of front office people, not only in analysts, but also the support staff. Yes, there has been the new VP that has been brought in, and maybe that's somebody that will start to displace a little bit of Boca's responsibilities. And so, eventually we will be able to find someone that can suitably do the job, because it seems like, with the responsibilities that Bocanegra took on, especially in the wake of, some of the athletic articles from Felipe Cardenas that mentioned the also icy relationship between Boca and Tata Martino, because Boca wanted to take more of a kind of boss role in terms of his relationship with Tata. There's a lot of kind of now anecdotes and history of Carlos Bocanegra trying to move his and shake his weight around, and it seemingly is for the worse, because you have players that are the likes of Darlington Nagbe, Julian Gressel, LGP, who likely would have wanted to stay, but instead they were pretty much not offered what they felt like they were worth, or traded unceremoniously by Carlos Bocanegra. And so, yes, those are players that, maybe had their own reasons why they maybe, in terms of Atlanta United fans, why they wouldn't want them back anyway. But I think the point is they have not been replaced properly. The production has not been replaced, period. So anyway, so there, Fox Sports, that article also wrote some other things and reported some other things, that a United source said that it was hell every day for 6 months. Also that not only the frustrated players and staffers, that they weren't shared the schedule in advance by Heinze. They were pretty much on call at any point, and they weren't allowed video games nor ping pong. I mean, it's just, it seemed like a dictatorship, which is just not what you want to see. I mean, yes, full transparency, yes, I was glad that Gabriel Heinze was hired, because, tactics-wise, and in terms of, what he was bringing to the table in terms of fiery nature, it seemed like from the outset a good fit, but it is very apparent that, he, I think, overworked the players, was on a power trip for sure, and didn't let the players pretty much be able to rest up properly in this league, which is very difficult with the travel and lack of rest days, with a congested schedule. I mean, it's just, it's one thing after another coming out here that, the culture basically was just very icy. I mean, Heinze didn't speak with the players, apparently. His coaching staff also didn't either. So it's something that, it's poor morale across the organization. And so I applaud the front office for doing this quickly and making this move right now, as there's still a good bit of season to be able to be played and to kind of make up for this. But they have one transfer window, and they have this season, I think, before the pitchforks really start to come out. Not only, of course, Carlos Bocanegra already has the pitchforks out for him, but for Darren Eales as well. As much as we all enjoy Darren Eales' antics and banter, I mean, it's starting to really show that there's kind of a lack of transparency, a lack of maybe ability in finding the right, not only players, but staff. So, if they are to be tasked with finding the next head coach, I mean, they better damn well get it right. But, so it was also documented, apparently, in the past, that at Vélez Sarsfield, Gabriel Heinze, he fined players for gaining any weight. He also did these type of things. So if the front office didn't properly vet Gabriel Heinze, then absolutely, this is very damning, I think, on the front office as well. But apparently, according to Doug Roberson, Atlanta United declined to answer if they were negotiating a buyout for Heinze, or if they invoked a clause allowing them to terminate without a buyout. Because there are a lot of the grievances by MLSPA, and so maybe they do have some rights to maybe terminate his contract. But and in terms of those that CBA, they must be given 8 days off of every 8 weeks, as well as reasonable efforts to provide players at least 1 day off per week. And it seemed like that really wasn't happening. Getting into some of the what the players were saying after the news came out. Obviously, it was a shock to many. Anton Walks talked to the media, Brooks Lennon as well. Brooks Lennon said, yeah, he basically he didn't want to comment on that, but he did have praise for Heinze and how basically he was given chances by Heinze. So of course, yeah, he was very diplomatic here, but he would only comment about his performance on the field, and it's nothing but respect for Heinze and his staff. But he did talk about how training was on Monday. He said guys came out with extra energy to show the new coaching staff that they want to be out on the field, because yeah, Rob Valentino is the interim head coach, and yeah, he also spoke with the media as well. Apparently, yeah, like, you know, first day on the job, Rob Valentino talks with the media. Heinze had 7 months on the job, never actually saw them in person. He also, yeah, was not much of a spokesperson for the team as well. I mean, he said some weird things post-match from the New England Revolution match as well, saying Cubo Torres is a good player, maybe the coach is bad. You know, some question maybe if it was actually some like self-sabotaging. Maybe he just didn't want to be here. Who knows? Some odd behavior whatsoever. I mean, just nonetheless, very, very odd things that Heinze has said. But yeah, pretty much, I mean, even before that, and this is, you know, we're filming this on a Monday, or I'm filming this on a Monday. Josef Martinez, he will be talking with the media on Tuesday, and of course, the Athletic article from Felipe Cardenas pretty much said it was Josef Martinez saying it was Heinze or me, and it seems like it's very obvious that yeah, the club has chosen to stick with Josef Martinez, especially in the wake of all of these revelations. But also that Josef Martinez apparently told the front office that 2021 would be his last year. Now, whether that truly is or isn't, hopefully he clarifies that on Tuesday in his press conference. But I think, you know, there are some fans that said that no player is bigger than the club. And I would also counter that with, you know, no coach is bigger than the club, but no front office, you know, member is bigger than the club either. If you're not acting in the best interests of the club, then you should probably go. If things come to push and shove. And things came to push and shove, and it seems like Josef Martinez was protecting his teammates. I mean, definitely with the, you know, why he was being maybe a little agitative towards Gabriel Heinze is because they weren't being able to, you know, train and have off days, and then also drink water. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's poor treatment of players, and that's just not good enough. I think it's something that he has every right to actually do. But, so let's get into, you know, what Rob Valentino said, and I think that's very telling. But let's first get into his technical staff. It will be Matt Lowry, Jack Kimber-Ryan, Alexander for fitness, Liam Curran for goalkeepers, Jack Collison will assist with trainings. He, of course, is the Atlanta United 2 head coach, and all of Heinze's assistants have been let go as well. But Valentino said to the press today, to be honest, I don't want to change a lot because the players have gone through changes, and you try to do it in a short period of time and you can hit a real roadblock. Ultimately, we just need to turn our luck. We need to get results. Valentino also said that he told the boys this morning, the human element, I hope to bring that. In terms of tactics, I will do my best. We will all do our best to take more chances, take more risks, score more goals, and win more games. He also said that basically, we, on the club's fans, we just want to give them, we just want to get them back happy again. I can't stress that enough. They're so important. People come to Atlanta to play in front of them. I understand the sacrifices they make. It's incredible. I don't mean that to sound corny. And that's, I think, really huge from Valentino. The first, you know, message that he sends is to the fans that he realizes why this game is being played. It's for the fans, and that is key. And so, yeah, he's done well here. I think Valentino obviously, you know, has all to do in front of him, but it definitely, I think he's has the backing at the start of the fans with these type of words. But also from Lennon, he also said that Josef Martinez is a name in the league that's scary to opponents. Great to have him back in the team. Excited to be training with him now. Today he did really well. Hopefully we can use him going forward and he can get back to his goal scoring ways. Hopefully so. So guys, let's get into some of the transfer rumors of the week. And first transfer rumor is Santiago Moreno of Colombian side America de Cali. He's been linked with both Atl United and Portland Timbers. He also has been linked with Leeds United and Rangers this year. He's got 5 goals and 4 assists in 22 competitions, across all competitions rather, in 22 appearances across all competitions. There we go. And transfer market has him valued at $585. He's a winger. He's 21 years old, Colombian. Do we need another project? I don't know. I think maybe we need some guys that are a little bit more proven right now. So I'm not so sure about this rumor, but apparently he's a good talent. But one who's a really big talent is Thiago Almeida, and of course this came out before Gabriel Heinze was let go. But he plays for Vélez Sarsfield, 20-year-old Argentine playmaker. And yes, he's a lot of FIFA career mode players' dream player in a lot of senses because he's got a lot of talent and is very young. And so a lot of people, no doubt, used him. But yeah, he's a guy that is valued at $22 million. Yeah, very strong at dribbling, at taking long shots and passing. And so a guy that seemingly could be useful for Atlanta, but also another project, but I think much bigger, much bigger talent probably. And he's also away on international duty in Japan in the Olympics with Ezequiel Barco, as he posted a photo of he and Almeida together waiting in the airport. But is there more smoke to any of that? We'll find out. But also, George Bello, he's been linked with top Greek side Olympiacos, and with there only being one left back on the team, that yeah, it maybe would make sense. Would that be a good move for Bello to the Greek league? I mean, we'll see. That's not exactly the most sexiest league, of course, but anyway. Yes, so Miles Robinson and George Bello, they started for the U.S. men's national team recently. First senior team start for Bello. Congrats to the boy. And Miles Robinson, he scored the 3rd goal in the 6-1 rout of Martinique in the Gold Cup. And the goal, yeah, and basically the U.S. men's national team are through from their group. And yeah, it's good to see. So Atlanta United 2, they've unfortunately fell to Louisville City 2-0. They will be playing FC Tulsa on July 28th. So a little bit of ways from now. But, guys, let's get into the match preview. And, yeah, we'll go through this a little kind of pretty quickly here. But FC Cincinnati on Wednesday. It's going to be, yeah, a very interesting match because I think, we'll see Josef Martinez probably available for selection. That will be quite an exciting thing. 8 p.m. and it will be, of course, away at TQL Stadium. But basically, yeah, FC Cincy are playing a little bit better nowadays, maybe scoring a little bit more, but maybe not still getting the results that they probably want. But basically, FC Cincy, it's another year with Jaap Stam in charge. Last year, they finished in 14th place. They did not qualify for the playoffs, but they've added Lucho Acosta. They've also added Brenner. They've also added Ronald Matarrita. They've lost Kendall Waston and, of course, Andrew Gutman, who we got, but also we loaned to New York Red Bulls. But basically, they're basically a lot better in attack this year with Lucho and Brenner in there. But yeah, it's still they're a very weak team in a lot of aspects, and so I think it's still a team that we can get at, and this is an opportunity for us to get 3 points. especially when we have maybe, hopefully, a new manager bump. But, yeah, in our series matchup, we have won 3 times, they've won once, and there's been 1 draw between us. We last won 2-0 against them in November in 2020. Now, in terms of, yeah, you know, I spoke about some other players to watch, but also another player in Jürgen Locadia, who's a forward for them. He was, yeah, celebrated as a big signing as much as Brenner was. But, yeah, we'll see if he can put something together in terms of a good season for them, a little bit up and down. But, yeah, guys, let's get into the injuries and availability reports. For Cincy, Calvin Harris is out with a meniscus. Mikhail van der Werf is out with a sports hernia. Zico Bailey is out with a hip. Ronald Matarrita is out on international duty, and Alan Cruz is also out on international duty. For LA United, of course, Goose, Miles Robinson, and Bello are out on international duty with the U.S. men's national team. Barco with Argentina U23s. Mo Adams, he's out with quadriceps injuries for 2 to 3 months. Hyman, of course, with the ACL, but also Ibarra with the lower body injury. Jürgen Damm might be, he's questionable as he has been training this week. Of course, Josef Martinez may be questionable, but probably is available for selection, and we would, I think, bank on at least seeing him make an appearance. Mateus Setsu also probably available as he's been training as well. And Alex DeJohn, he's been seen with the brace with his fractured left elbow, but he's still training. So, you know, what a warrior indeed. But guys, let's get into the predicted starting 11, and this might not be very easy as, yeah, you know, you had some guys that played decently, but, you know, some guys that are fit to be able to come back in, as in a Santiago Sosa who, yeah, had yellow card accumulation, now is available to play again. So I think in this predicted starting 11, of course, we'll go with Can between the sticks. I'm going with a 4-man backline, not a 3-man backline here. And it's Lennon, Franco, Walks, and Ambrose, I think, who will actually finally get a start at left back. But in midfields, I think Sejdic has earned another start for sure. Moreno next to him, as well as Santiago Sosa returns. And I think that's a pretty decent midfield. You have a controller, you have a guy that, you know, is also been kind of our early season kind of MVP a little bit in Sosa, and Moreno, who's able to kind of create some chances. He definitely, I think, did really well against the New England Revolution. Had our team high 6 created chances, so definitely want to see more from him in the middle. Now up top and in the forward positions, I think Jake Mulroney gets another start here. I think, but this time on the right wing, and I think left wing it will be Machop Chol. They could both switch sides as well, and I mean, maybe it's a little early, maybe he gets like a 60-minute run out, but I think it's Josef Martinez up top. I think, you know, especially on the road, you could kind of get him acclimated a little bit and then bring on, you know, a sub later pretty quickly. And, you know, it would still be pretty decent. And Josef Martinez has done pretty well at Cincy Stadium. So, you know, we'll take that too. But, yeah. So, getting into the odds, LA United have a 43.5% chance, according to Bet365, to win this match. Cincy have a 45.5% chance, and also it's a draw chance at 30.8. So, with all that being said, though, yeah, a match fact of this is that LA United have unfortunately failed to win 7 of their last 7 away matches in MLS, and so that's not a great stat, but hopefully, like I said, with this manager bump, we can maybe make something happen. But let's get into the score prediction then. And I think it won't be a win, unfortunately, but we, yeah, will unfortunately fail to win another match here, but I think we can get a draw against FC Cincy away from home. I think, you know, we need to take the little bit of increments of positivity here. And so a 1-1 draw, I can deal with that on the road, especially with how we've been playing. So anyway, guys, let us know what your score predictions are in the comments below. And guys, that's almost the entire show except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, who would you like to see Atlanta United bring in as the next head coach? I mean, obviously, you know, this is it's a lot of weight on Darren Eales and Carlos Bocanegra's shoulders, but there are a lot of sexy names out there as well. You have Zidane, you have Eddie Howe, maybe not as sexy, maybe. You have Antonio Conte, you have Pirlo, you have Frank Lampard. I mean, there's a lot of names out there. Who would you guys like to see Atlanta United bring in? Will it even solve our problems? Does Boca need to go? Does Eales need to go? Let us know in the comments below. But guys, that is it for the episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I've been AJ.